welcome to Rendezvous with Muriel. This is your host, Muriel Felos. And today our guest is Danielle Ford. She's a video and online marketing strategist. She helps business owners and brands to obtain targeted visibility, connect with their audience on a personal level, and remain top of mind through the use of trending video platforms. I'm really happy to be interviewing her because, as you know, I'm a relationship coach and I put a lot of stuff online, and I always love her expertise and all the advices that she has to offer to us. So, good morning, Danielle. How are you today?
I am doing very good. Thank you so much for having me on your show. We've talked for a while about this, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to remove the glasses because the reflection is driving me with the light.
Yeah.
So because I have a business called Date Like a French Woman, and I know that people who go for their dreams become magnetic to people, opportunity, and love. And you are one person that goes for her dream big time. I would love if you could tell us your story with your words, because you will do it so much better than I could. And tell us where it started and where you are today.
Okay, that's a very loaded question, as I am the type of person who has multi-interests, and I have even, I'm 31 years old right now, and even in the time I've been alive, I've pursued so many different career paths already. And the one thing that the common thread between all of them is just really following my intuition, doing what I feel I'm best fit to serve at that moment, and doing it fearlessly. And when I say fearlessly, it's not without fear, but in spite of fear. And so, you know, my story is that I was a teen mom. And even before being a teen mom, throughout my childhood, I know you're really into like stories and what brought you to be like the kind of person you are. But I didn't really learn this about myself till later in life. But my childhood kind of prepared me for what I do right now and for being a teen mom, because I was a kid that went to a new school every year or 2 years. And so I had to be able to make friends, and I had to have confidence, and I would go into a school, especially later in life, like in middle school and high school, knowing that I would have a target on my back, and that people were going to criticize me and were going to hate me at first. And it was something that I had to learn how to be adaptable. And then when I became a teen mom, same thing, lots of judgment, lots of criticism, lots of ridicule. And, looking back, I feel like kind of like it was a positive aspect of my childhood that it prepared me for that, So when I got pregnant at 17, I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to have a baby in 9 months. And so I had wanted to like own a hair salon eventually. It was kind of my big goal. But I was like, I need to do something now. So I decided to go to esthetician school for facials and waxing and makeup. And I completed an esthetician program basically at the same time that I had my daughter, which was the same time that my peers of my high school were graduating high school. So I had a career, and I ended up pursuing that career over the next 7.5 years and opening up a skincare studio. And so I opened that when I was 22, and I ended up closing it when I was 24, because I had learned marketing for my business, and especially online marketing, and especially video. So at this point I had 2 small children, and I realized the power that video had, and that I could work from home and freelance and help other entrepreneurs and keep learning more about the online world. And so I did that. And while I was doing that, I started an organization called Young Moms Club, because I felt like something that I needed a few years back would have been the life advice kind of support similar that you serve your audience, you know, with self-care and how to get over criticism and judgment and communication skills and relationships and things like that. So I grew a community of young moms. Some of my videos have hundreds of thousands or million views on YouTube. And then just kind of naturally, people would start asking me while I was doing freelancing, like, oh, how can I do this? And what should I do? And so I started doing video marketing and helping other entrepreneurs, purpose-driven entrepreneurs, do what I was doing with Young Moms Club and be able to make a difference to the people they serve through the use of video and other online marketing tools.
That's great. And it seems, tell me if I'm wrong, but I always say that my purpose found me. I didn't go after it. It seems that it's the same story for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I kind of always knew, even like as a little girl, that I wanted to do something big. I think we all feel like that. And maybe a lot of people just shut it out. Right. So I definitely did feel like that, but I know a lot of people struggle with like, what should I do? And really just look at your life. You're right. Like your purpose is probably present somewhere in your life already.
Yes. And so you've told us some of the obstacles that you had to overcome in your life, which actually, I believe, prepared you to do the business, because not caring about what people think about you and doing your best is the best attitude in business, because you're going to have lovers and you're going to have haters. Now, what part of your life experience do you feel gave you the best assets for your business today? Because there is the image, there is so many aspects in your experience.
Man, that's a good question. I would say the most important parts of my life, from my life experience, and not necessarily study, would be the way to communicate. And I guess I can relate that to video, because, you know, when you meet someone new, like a new student, you know, or new job, or like, you know, I was an army wife at one point, so I had to like learn this whole new city and new moms. You start to be able to figure people out, and you almost learn to read people. And then if you're the type of person like we want to help people. So we kind of naturally figure out what kind of content is going to help them without them having to ask us.
Yes. And I've seen your videos. They're extremely, on an aesthetic point of view, they're beautiful. So
thank you.
When you actually coach people, do you also coach on how to do the video, not only what platform to put it on, or you have some counseling on that?
Yeah, I have a program called Video in a Day that walks entrepreneurs through how to make a marketing video in one day. So it's very step-by-step, it's very thorough, but it's not necessarily how to produce Jurassic Park or, you know, how, the ins and outs of all this crazy technology, but it will teach you everything from the setup to the lighting and the tech and how to do it with an iPhone and scripting and marketing of it. So yeah, I do help people with the video aspect, but really that course, which is a great standalone type of course, that's just very technical, is not the most important thing. The most important thing is just doing video in general and getting your message out there.
Okay, because I consider myself technology retarded. I do it. I had to learn it because my budget was very tight, but it's not necessarily my forte. And having people like you that give us this kind of message, even if you're not perfect, go for it, because that's the most important part of it. It's really reassuring for us, because when I compare my videos to your videos, I'm like, oh, I suck.
Well, yeah, you can't do that though. I do that too sometimes.
And it's actually part of where I catch myself, and I'm like, okay, don't compare yourself. You are where you are, and there is a process for everything in a journey. And so how, I know you probably learn always, because online marketing is always evolving. It's crazy. Something can be true today, and in a week, it's not going to be true. So how do we stay on top of all these evolution to not fall into the invisible market?
Okay, that's really funny. To do that, you have to follow people like me.
Yes.
And not just like, I love learning everything that's new and emerging. And I'm like the kind of person, and I don't think every person should even be like this. You have to have a type of like personality. And I do this for fun, you know, like I would rather be like studying whatever got released yesterday than shopping. So I kind of will test things out, find the best ways that work, and implement it, and then only teach the things that actually work. You don't necessarily like need to share every new shiny object. So there are definitely like a lot of people out there who are like me. Find those people and follow them and take their advice. Don't just like listen to every new thing, or like I see it all the time, even with my clients who have paid me money to give them advice. I'll say, okay, for you, I feel like you need to do this platform, this platform, this platform. And they'll even come back and go, well, my hairdresser was telling me about this thing, and my coworker's using this. And I'm like, listen, yeah, there's a million different ways you could do something, but depending on your target market, depending on your personality, depending on your tech level, depending on how much you want to automate or don't want to automate, be on video, don't be on video. They're very specific, platforms. So make sure you're taking advice from the right people that have tried everything and not just necessarily learned about a new app or something.
Yeah. It's like, don't go to the drugstore to buy milk or something like this.
Yeah, go to the cow or whatever. Yeah.
And so I suspect you also have, depending on what budget do people start with, you also have different advices and recommendations that you give. So someone can start at a very low budget and work with you in order to build their audience.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I really try to do is for whatever it is, whether it's equipment or it is email software or website design, there's always like a good, better, and best way of doing things, and as long as you have all of the tools in place. I'm very big on funnels, and I know that funnel is a really overdone term, and a lot of people don't like that term because they feel like it's salesy, but it's not. It's basically just a system of operating your business that allows you to step back and create the content that you're meant to create and serve at a higher level. And I look at a funnel like a car, right? Like what would you rather have? Like if your website is part of your funnel, your Twitter is part of your funnel, your videos, your speaking engagements, your product, whatever you're selling, it's all part of your funnel. So would you rather have like a car that has this beautiful steering wheel and awesome rims, but like there's no engine, or like a basic engine, basic steering wheel, basic tires, and it works, like it'll get you point A to point B. I would rather have somebody on a low budget just do all the pieces correctly than worry about like making their videos perfect, getting 1 million Twitter followers, like just have it all kind of working.
Oh, that's a great analogy. I love that.
Thank you.
Keep that in mind. Yeah. And as far as the emotional aspect of the business, when you were building yours and you had, because everybody struggles or everybody has blocks that we need to dissolve and remove, was there a mantra or a certain thought that kept you out there when you felt a little bit lower? Was there something that you were telling yourself that kept you going?
You have really good questions. Well, first, I'd like to say that I don't think I or anybody is ever to the point where they're like, okay, I made it. Like my business is now here, because we set goals, we hit them, but in that time frame, we've discovered new things or had new ideas or want to do new projects, and new goals arise, and hopefully we're always growing and stretching and wanting to do more. But I think it's really important to be satisfied along the way. And even the small things that we do, whether it's like learning something or making a small sale or just helping somebody for free, it's really important to acknowledge that. But for me, when things get tough, and they still do, there's always a tech issue happening with something. Like, there's nights where I'm like up till 3 a.m. crying, like what is happening? Why I have this thing happening tomorrow. How am I going to fix it? I feel like for me, it's not a negotiable. I have a clear vision in my mind at all points, like where my business is going to be in 3 months and 6 months and a year and 5 years. And although that might shift because I decide to change my mind, it doesn't shift because I didn't get there. You know, it's like no doubt that that's going to happen. So what is it going to take for that to happen? So for me, I'm not really a verbal mantra type person, although I do read about that and I totally like believe in its power. I'm a visual person. So I really keep in my mind, like visual images of like what my business will look like, what my life will look like. Yeah.
And I actually, for myself, I bought a big piece of cardboard and I wrote down every aspect of my ideal life, and my business is incorporated in that. So I'm like you, I'm visual, but I also have mantras. And it seems that yours, if I could put it in words based on what you just answered, it's like an unwavering faith.
Yes. It's like not, yeah, it's there. It's gonna happen. It's just like what route is gonna take me there.
What is the most common issue that you see people facing when they go about developing their dreams and going on platforms and trying to gain visibility and be noticed?
The number one thing is fear. And to me, it's really, sometimes it's hard for me to process it with clients because I'm a very logical person. Do you do the Myers-Briggs personality test?
Yes.
I'm an ENTP, which is just like totally not feeling, not sensitive, like just logical, you know? And even with my children, sometimes when they're being emotional, I'm like, let's rationally think through this. So sometimes it's hard to relate even to my clients, but I really try to like make them get on a rational level. And I'm like, listen, this is not a normal fear. like it's normal in the fact that it's common, but it's not normal in the fact that it's actually a fear. Okay. No one's going to come out of your screen and hurt you if you mess up on video. You're totally safe. It's just society has, for some reason, made us scared of things that we shouldn't be scared of. I look at these kids, you know, my kids are now, but both going to be in middle school next year, and they have been on stage since they were young. And I look at these other kids who are nervous, and they'll ask my kids, are you nervous to be in the play? Are you nervous to run for this campaign? And they're like, no. But then I see these parents who are like asking their kids, are you nervous? You know, and like, okay, don't be nervous. And to me, I feel like even as parents and as leaders, teachers, we instill this like belief that we should be afraid of other people being seen, being judged. And that's crazy. Like if there was a bear on stage with you, that would be scary. Like that's a reason to be afraid of the stage or video. So to me, the number one thing is just irrational fears. And I really feel like the only way to get through it is to just do it. And to know that usually when you're scared of something, it's because you're getting out of your comfort zone. And the only way to have success that you've never seen before is to be out of your comfort zone. So it's a good thing.
Completely. And as far as the fear, it's actually wired in our brain because it's a survival mechanism. Mm-hmm. But we don't realize that our brain tries to protect us, but it's misguided. It's literally thinking that there is a bear that's going to eat us alive. Mm-hmm. When you can rationalize, and I use tapping a lot, I don't know if you're familiar with tapping. When you can bring the stress level down, you realize that, okay, you're going to mess up, so what? You will mess up at one point. So the easiest, the fastest you can mess up and realize that you're still alive, and that's what I teach my kids. I'm like, go and mess up. So you see you're still alive. So you can do it 10 times. It doesn't matter. And that's such, for you to help people really rationalize and put it maybe in front of their face that it's not a life and death matter. It's so helpful because it's the mindset that counts. So,
I love that you said that because you just reminded me that's exactly what I tell clients. I'm like, okay, go make 3 crappy videos. I want you to go make 3 terrible videos or go do 3 live streams, or go bomb a speech in front of like 20 people. That's your goal. Go make it horrible, right? So if you hit that goal, good job. And if you excelled and you didn't bomb, or your videos weren't crappy, then that's a plus, right? So like stretching that and just going and failing, or at least doing it, is what's important.
Plus, I don't know if you agree, but I think based on what I feel, we are in a market right now where it's not the age of perfection anymore. It's the age of authenticity.
Yep.
So if you mess up, people are going to be able to relate even more because they're going to see you're human like them. Is that a true fact, or?
You're so dead on. And in fact, I study a lot about what works online, marketing online, and psychology. And some of the stuff I don't use because I feel like a lot of it is gross marketing, but I still learn it. Like I'm intrigued by learning like what works and what sells. So I always I know what works. And what you just said is completely accurate. Not only does it help make people trust you and relate to you, but it sells. And there's people out there preaching that you should fake the authenticity. You know what I mean?
I literally cringe.
Yeah.
It's even, what's your take on, because I know I did a program last year where they were very big on which words to use and which words not to use, and go online and look at the Google ad or what the word that people actually search. And we had to give our products a name that's very catchy, very markety. I had so much resistance to that, and I still don't know what to do, because I know it's going to attract a lot of the mainstream people, because it's like, for example, magnet is a big word that triggers a lot of emotions, but I still have resistance into using that word. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I've observed people tell other people bad advice. Like, don't use, like, this is an example, obviously, don't use the word magnet because it's so overdone. Everyone in the industry is doing it. That's an example like of other words I've heard, but that doesn't really matter if it's a word that's going to appeal with your target market, and if it aligns with you. Like, I hate the word hustle. I hate it. And even when I see like women I admire, they use it cutely, and I still like their stuff, but they use it. I'm like, it just doesn't resonate with me. I believe in hard work. To me, hustling is like swindling on the side of the road, like hustling for $1. I think that there's better ways to do the same thing with ease and automation. And that's why I really like automation, because I don't feel like you're hustling. I feel like it's a process that people take themselves through. It's very easygoing. And I just, for what you were saying with like magnet.
I'm getting used to it because words have energy. I feel the energy of words, and that word somehow, maybe because I saw it from so many people who are not authentic. That's why maybe it makes sense. Once I will put it my own magic on it, my own personality, maybe I'll feel different. But that was just a curiosity that I had, and I wanted to ask you.
It's really interesting. I hate to say people like you, but people like you who are very spiritual and very authentic are attracted to me. And I think I do come across authentic, but I'm not like a woo-woo person, right? So it's kind of been interesting to see that a lot of very, 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 very like woo-woo-y type people want to work with me. And but I haven't used that verbiage. You know what I mean? So sometimes I feel like you don't necessarily need to use the words, that you just have to use the energy, and the right people are going to be attracted to you. So
that's gold to me, because I'm trained by people who disagree with that, and that really puts resistance. So that blocks me from attracting, actually, because I'm in struggle with myself.
So I can like pinpoint several clients who are just like you. I have a lot of meditation clients, a lot of life healers, and even physical therapists and stuff. And they don't like, they feel like they are tricking people if they use yeah, if they use like keywords, like if they know that something gets a bunch of searches, so they use it, they feel like it's tricking people. But to me, I don't think it is. I feel like you have that information that, let's say 10,000 people a month are searching for something magnet, something, and you can't control what people search for, right? They have the information that they're searching for it. So if you don't put yourself in front of those people because you don't like the word magnet for whatever reason it is, you're basically saying F you to all those people that need to hear your message.
Okay.
So it's almost like, I get that you don't like it because I feel the same way, but it doesn't matter. I'll give you an example. I'm a grammar Nazi. Like, I hate when people use the wrong your, the version of your. And I have a blog and a video for Young Moms Club about how to tell your parents you're pregnant. And thousands of young moms a month type that in, spelled wrong. They use the wrong version of your. So I was like, what do I do? Do I spell it wrong so that it gets in front of them and it ranks? Or do I spell it right because my brain can't handle grammar mistakes?
Yes.
I spelled it wrong. It gets in front of them. I get comments on my YouTube channel all the time that they just found out they're pregnant. They don't know how to tell their parents. The video helped them. I don't care that people are coming to my video and telling me that I'm stupid because I spelled your wrong.
So beautiful, because you're saying you're not woo, but you're very spiritual, because in that way you can put your ego aside and be of service for those people that you want to reach, and don't care about what they're going to say. And that's beautiful that you're able to do that. That's really,
thank you.
Really. And I'm glad I was vulnerable enough to mention the word magnet, because you helped me shift. So thank you.
Yeah, it's just interesting because even though you said like I'm very spiritual, I don't brand myself as like an entrepreneur that helps spiritual people. Mm-hmm. It just comes across by the content.
So now I would love to approach my favorite subject, one of the pillars of my coaching, self-love.
Okay.
And because it's so confusing to everybody, I constantly run into people that don't even know what it means, where to start, what to do. So I would love if you could tell us your definition of self-love.
Okay. I guess my definition of self-love would be, probably because I'm a mom, would be putting myself first and letting go of any shame related to that or guilt. And that doesn't mean that I prioritize myself over the expense of my kids or their health or safety or needs or desires, but it's that I don't put myself as a martyr for their happiness and their comfort at every given moment. I will be like, you guys good? I'm going to work out. I'm taking a bath. I'm taking a shower. Because I know that I can't be super stressed out. I can't be neglecting my health and having low energy, because then I'm not going to be able to take care of them and the business and my niece, my other niece, my family, and everybody if I don't actively tell people no and prioritize myself as number one.
And that's so true, because on top of it all, we're models for our kids. So what do we really want to teach them? Because we learn everything as kids, and it stays in our subconscious. So if you model a healthy way to be a mom, that's what they are going to reproduce in their lives, and they won't feel obligated to be a martyr themselves.
Right.
What role did that self-love play in your success?
I think I probably learned that by not doing it for a while and getting really burnt out. And I will even relearn that lesson sometimes when, we forget to take care of ourselves and get burnt out. And then kind of, you shouldn't really ever have to just like stop everything and take care of yourself. But if you do, that's okay. And sometimes like a complete reset like that will put it into perspective about the importance. And so then hopefully you can create some sort of balance. And everybody is different. Not everybody needs a bath. Some people just need like some mental stimulation that's different, or a coffee with a friend, or reading a book. It's different to whatever you are. But honestly, I will be like stuck on something with work. Like maybe I'm writing copy and I'm like, oh man, I can't think of what to say here. And as soon as I step away for like 20 minutes, even if I play like a word game on my phone, or even if I just go watch like New Girl on the TV and come back to it, it all like makes sense now and fresh eyes. And I was like, how could I have not seen that earlier?
Yeah.
So you have to be doing that for yourself.
And so you practically answered my third question. Could you share one or two practices that you have incorporated into your life which are about self-love? So you said take a step out, take time for yourself. Is there anything else you would like to share to give people ideas about practicing it?
Definitely working out. When I told you I went to Colorado, I lived in an army base, and this whole dramatic story. I'm not going to that would be like a 2-hour episode if I told you the whole thing, but I found myself, at the age of 20, living at home with my husband, who I was divorcing, with 2 small kids. We were basically like roommates with kids. And the kids would go to bed at like 9 earlier, and I would be trapped in my bedroom because he'd be in the living room, and I felt like I had nowhere to go. I was so depressed. I got on medication 4 different times, but each time, antidepressants take like weeks, they say, to like actually work. But like 4 different times I would get prescribed medication, take it for 2 days, throw it away, go back a week later, I'd be like, I threw away my medication. And I had nowhere to escape. Like, I hated walking past my husband in the living room. So the only place I could go to, because I wasn't 21 yet, was the on military base gym. And I literally went there just to get out of the house. Like, coffee shops were closed, bookstores were closed. I had no friends. I just wanted to leave the house. And I would be like, well, I obviously got to do something if I'm going to be here. Standing here is going to look weird. So I'd get on like an elliptical. And that was when I really started working out and realizing, like, the next day I was like, you know what? I don't feel that angry about him today. Like, a little bit less. And the next day was a little bit less. And then I like realized, the importance of working out. So when I work out, it really has nothing to do with, oh, I'm trying to be this shape or this size or weight. It's just like, I need my endorphins to go through me. I need to sweat out toxins, and I need to be like a new person tomorrow to do the things I need to do.
Yeah, feel good.
Yeah.
If people want to contact you or find out about what you're doing, where can they go and check you out?
Yeah, I would just go to my website. It's danielleford.com. There's a lot of information if you scroll down the page to the blog area, a lot of cool resources and tips. And then I also hang out on my Facebook page and do kind of some other stuff over there, like live streaming and such. So my Facebook page is linked on my website, but it's Danielle Ford LV. And then on all social media channels is the same, Danielle Ford LV.
Okay, great. Terrific.
Yeah.
What is one or last 2 tips that you want to impart to people to conclude this interview?
I think pretty much to wrap it up with tips related to this topic, it would be to just get over yourself. Actually, this is going to sound a little bit straightforward, but I honestly, if you made it this far and you've rationalized the fact that fear is probably stopping you, you have to just understand that to people like me and the other entrepreneurs who are doing it every single day and like in the ditches, like putting ourselves out there, like hearing about how scary it is like boring. Like, we're bored. Like, we're like, I know how it is. We've done it, and just realize that like your fear is super boring and repetitive, and it's not beneficial at all to let it be a reason to not do it at all. And to just know that for every person that hates something that you have to say, or for everything that you say in a video that you think is going to polarize someone else and turn them off, there's going to be double that many people that love what you have to say.
Yes. I heard that if you don't polarize, your message is not right.
Yep.
And not just agree with everybody.
Yep.
I want to thank you, Danielle, for being part of this interview. It was very inspiring to me, and I know it's going to inspire many other people.
I'm happy to help your audience and anyone that I can. So thank you.
Thank you. And for our listeners and viewers, we're going to be here every week. Again, Rendezvous with Muriel is the podcast. And next time with another guest. Thank you, Danielle. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks.
For questions or to apply for an interview, visit dateLikeAFrenchwoman.com.